Good morning, Hammers fans. It's Nick from Claret and Booze, and this is my daily ramble. I hope you're all well. I'm feeling great this morning. I went over there last night, and I did record I was going to go live. Then I recorded a preview show, but my voice was gone, and I'm still struggling a bit now. Yeah, really, really good over there last night. Like I said, I took my son to the game. We got there an hour before kick-off. Atmosphere was already building. It was fantastic outside the stadium. It was tremendous. I had a good feeling about yesterday, and even when that team sheet got released, I personally wasn't surprised. I was surprised to not see Skamaka on the bench, but like I say, once we learned why that was, I probably kind of expected that anyway, because I think the old guard did come on against Villa. And they saved us in that game, didn't they? And I think these games that we've got coming up, these are probably not the games that I would expect Moyes to make too many mass changes. You kind of stick to what you know. So I wasn't too surprised with anything. But look, anyway, before we get into the game, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, drop a like on the video. It really helps us. All right, lovely. Right, let's get on with it anyway. So yeah, Spurs visited the London Stadium yesterday. We've been seeing it all on social media, haven't we? You know, their usual probing, calling it our cup final and stuff like that. I don't know what they're talking about. It's always a game that we look forward to because of the rivalry. It's the same as when we play Chelsea. It's no different, really. I mean, we hate Spurs, but that isn't because we're jealous of them. We hate them because they're arseholes, to be quite honest. You know, and they're irritating because they're deluded. You know, you can almost understand the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea giving it the big one because they've won things. But the thing that irritates and confuses most fans with Spurs is the fact that they're not really any more successful than anyone else, you know? Success for them is just, you know, scraping top four. That's it. That's a successful season for them. And I'm saying that as a West Ham fan. I know we haven't won anything, but we don't go around saying that we are. I mean, I know we got the We Are Massive song, but that's ironic. But we know it annoys you. So, yeah, is what it is. But yeah, before I move on with the game, I thought the Spurs fan, and it's not me being petty, that is the worst away support I've seen in that game. That was a London derby as well. They was packed out. They filled their allocation, but apart from one rendition of when the Spurs go marching in and making a bit of noise when they scored, there was nothing. There was nothing there. No noise at all. Dead from the away support. But anyway, look, let's get... That's enough for Spurs. I don't want them thinking they're living inside my head because they're not. It's just Jamie O'Hara pissed me off on the way when I was listening to him on TalkSport. But yeah, the game performance, really, really good. Much better than I expected. I thought like I say, starting lineup I was expecting. Great to see Paqueta on the bench. That gave us a little bit of a lift before the game because they done the unveiling as well, which yeah, that was good. And he got a good welcome. But the starting lineup was fine. The first half was really good. I think Tottenham probably edged it on possession, but they were creating nothing. Not really, nothing of any note. We probably created the best chances in the game. You know, Bowen when he went through on his right foot and he screwed the ball wide. That's always a bit of a gripe with me. When we do play through the middle, which I want to see more of, with inverted wingers, when you slip an inverted wide forward through, they've always got to either chop inside onto their left foot to shoot or shoot with their weaker foot, which is annoying. But look, that's fine. That's the way that we play, and I think that's the way that most teams play, to be fair. But it does annoy me. Antonio, great passage of play when he hit the post, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I want to be seeing more of from West Ham. I've been saying too often that you know, we only play down the flanks. Well, I'm going to get onto the players in a bit, but it started with Thilo Kehrer, just threaded the ball through the centre of midfield, through the eye of a needle, through to Fornals, who flicked the ball onto Benny. Benny knocks it on to Antonio. Couple of touches, chops inside, bang, great shot, hits a post, so close. That would have been a fantastic goal. I'm sure from back to front, it was about 5 seconds. So from Kehrer, that you're talking 3 passes and a couple of touches in the shot. It was almost in the back of the net. It was a brilliant passage of play. Really enjoyed that. We had a few other opportunities as well. They scored against the run of play. They did score against the run of play. They've not been performing well all season. They got outplayed by Nottingham Forest. They're not an exciting team. They're spoilers. They don't really know what to do with the ball. That's why they had more possession. Moyes, like sometimes we're better when we play counter-attack. We prefer teams to come at us so that we can spring on the counter. Well, so are Spurs, and we didn't afford them that luxury today. We almost gave them the ball and said, well, what have you got? And they had nothing until the one time Rice and Souček, who were both brilliant today, by the way, Rice and Souček got forward. The play broke down, and they had that one opportunity to sort of try and go and smash us on the counter-attack. And, they're clinical. We've said that. They've only got to create a couple of chances in the game. It's frustrating. It's like watching Dennis Taylor play snooker. They just suck the life out of a game, and then they just score. It's annoying. But yeah, good finish. Do not blame Kehrer at all for that. If he hadn't have tried to slide in and clear it, Son was coming in at the back post. That's not even an own goal in my book. That's more of a deflection. It was just a great cross from Kane. It was just dangerous. But yeah, so there was a few other opportunities for both teams. I think Son had one. If you remember, he went through ball over the top in typical Spurs fashion. Because they do play a long ball, don't they? Not that I'm trying to rub salt in the wounds, but they do. He nodded the ball on, really, just really shit from Son, to be quite honest. You would have expected him to have done better with that, but he didn't. We got back and recovered. At half time, I'm not surprised that David Moyes didn't make any changes. I've got to be honest. I wasn't expecting him to. We played okay in that first half. Like I say, we knew we had a Paqueta to come on. And we started really well. It was all us. It was all us in the second half. We created countless chances, and the goal was thoroughly deserved. It really was. Some quick thinking from Soufal into Antonio, who was magnificent, by the way, and hopefully shut a lot of people up about him, because he was probably a close runner for man of the match, to be quite honest. Quick throw into Antonio. And a beautiful assist to the on-rushing Thomas Souček on one of the few occasions in this game that he did get forward. Great control, great finish, really clinical, superb. And it was brilliant. And like I say, great goal, well deserved. And then we saw the introduction of Kehrer. I think it was after. I can't remember. Not Kehrer. We saw the introduction of Paqueta, who I loved. He's the way he introduced himself into the game straight away. He snapped into a tackle straight away, won the ball, kept things simple, just kind of got himself into the game. And he seemed like he was really well prepared. And I could see why. I saw the footage when I got back of Nolan using a Frenchman in Areola to translate to someone who speaks Portuguese. That was quite funny, but it seemed to work. So yeah, whatever. He was good. Paqueta was fantastic. He was getting involved. He was getting stuck in. He's a big lump. He's not your typical fancy. He's not a fancy Dan at all. He's just an extremely talented player that can do all the flicks and tricks. But at the core of it, he's got Brazilian fire in his belly, and he will put a tackle in. He will, and it ain't going to be his last yellow card either. I particularly enjoyed watching Sanchez get booted up in the air, followed closely by Richarlison getting a bit of a nibble as well, of which he took exception to, didn't he? That was really good. Very good, solid cameo debut from Paqueta. Well done, mate. Well done. The game finished 1-1. On the balance of things, you probably could say it was a fair result, but we had more than enough opportunities to win that game. We had lots of chances. The most bizarre one was the cutback from Soufal on the right, which was a beautiful cutback into the passage of Paqueta on his left foot. But him and Emerson, somebody must have given a shout there. And they played with each other last year, but I can only imagine that one of them has given a shout, and it's been misunderstood, and they've both left it. It's just dribbled through the middle of them. So that was a shame. I don't think he'll do that again. He'll never do that again. In a couple of games' time, he'll just be spanking that in. There was Fornals had a good chance as well. The chance right at the end where Bowen sort of volleyed it across the face of goal. There were loads of chances. They were hanging on by the skin of their teeth. So I'm really proud of the effort that we put in. I think Moyes got it bang on. He trusted his instincts. He was right. The team seemed to be repaying his faith. So for all the criticism and the petulance from fans like me, I'll be honest, because we all wanted to see these new players. We've all been frustrated at the start of the season. It looks like our season has finally been activated. We're getting better each week. That's the thing, and we've got depth now, so we know we're not going to get worse as the season goes on. Now we're only going to get better as these players bed in. We look fantastic. So yeah, we look really really good. Now let me just run through the same quickly. We're going to do a show later. On the the closing of the transfer window, and we'll do a proper Spurs review and we'll do a player ratings as well. But just to give my thoughts on the players, I thought Fabianski had a solid game. His distribution was a bit iffy, but he had a good solid game. I thought Cresswell and Soufal were fine. Soufal was a bit iffy defensively, but going forwards, he really helped us tonight. He was actually quite good. Zuma was good. He was solid. But the standout centre-back for me was Kehrer, Thilo Kehrer. Now, I called it when he came in that he could be our signing of the window. Now, I know he had a wobbly start. He had a wobbly start against when he came in. But the fact of the matter is, the last 2 games, he's really coming to his own, and he is amazing. He's a Rolls Royce. He's just class. And how confident they are with him now as well. Because he's a leader. He marshals a back line. He's really intelligent. He's got great technical ability, great passer of the ball. And he marshals them. He pushes them up. He pulls them down. He kept Son and Kane quiet, more or less on his own. I'm sure he did. He literally had Kane in his pocket. It was brilliant to see. And like I say, I'm not even counting that own goal. That was brilliant. I'm telling you now, he could end up being the signing of the window. And we've had some great ones, but I think he could be, especially for the money we paid. He's an absolute star. So yeah, brilliant. Well done, mate. That was a great game from you, Kehrer. Probably more pleasing than even that was central midfield, which we won. We won the central midfield battle today. That is the first time in such a long time that I've seen Souček and Rice work in tandem. They worked well with each other. And do you know why that was? Because Souček was back doing... Souček needs a job. He does. He can't just be free roaming, meandering around. He gets lost. Today, he was being a destroyer. That's what he was when he first came in. He won. He was breaking up play, throwing it. He was winning aerial duels. He was brilliant, and he was disciplined in his positioning. So he protected us. He was really, really good today. So he did that, and then you had Declan Rice next to him, who was almost freed up to dictate play and sort of spray passes around and get us on the front foot. And he did that so well. The pair of them, absolutely amazing. Great performance from both players. I'm going to give... I think Souček edged it because he got the goal, but I'm not going to compare the two of them. They were the incomparable performances from 2 different players that worked at one point brilliantly together. At one point, they were the best defensive midfield partnership in the league, and today they were back to their best. And I didn't think I'd ever see it. I'd forgot that Souček. So that's how David Moyes has got to use him in future. Use him like that. And then he ain't got to get forward all the time. We've got an attacking threat. But then when he does get forward, like he did on one of the few occasions, he's still going to grab a goal every now and then. But he'll do a better job doing that. He was fantastic. So yeah, that was key to us being successful today. Because if you lose a midfield battle, I've said it before, everyone knows it. If you lose a midfield, you lose the game, invariably. We won the midfield today. So brilliant from them too. Pablo Fornal's great shift from him, absolutely amazing. Love that guy. He was back to his best today. He's quick passing, the way he just moves the ball so quick. You kind of need that, and with the introduction of these new players that we've got, playing a more sort of quick transitional possession based game, he's going to be key in that. I thought Ben Rama was fantastic as well. Again, he had another great game. He was starting to go a little bit quiet. Moving into the second half when the substitution was made, but he was brilliant. He was fantastic today. I haven't really got anything bad to say about any of them. And Antonio, that should have shut a lot of people up. I'm sorry. We all love Scamacca. We want to see Scamacca, but you've got to remember we've got 2 bloody good players here. Antonio was immense today. He was tremendous. He really was. The work that he put in and the quality as well. The quality with the shot. Basically, our 2 best passages of play was Mikel Antonio in the forward positions. And on top of that, he's doing defensive work. He's closing down. He's doing this. He's all over the place. He was fantastic today. I don't think many players could replicate the job that he did in that system today. He was superb. So that was great from him. And then, like I said, I've already spoken about Paqueta. Great debut. Really good. He kind of, he just got stuck in. Came in, flew into a tackle. He's going to be good. He's going to be good for us because he's got all, like I say, he's got all the flicks and tricks, but he's got that grit and determination, and that won't be his last yellow card. He'll be getting stuck in. Adds strength as well in that number 10 position because he's a big lump. He's quick. He's good on the ball. I think he's going to be fantastic. Good to see Oggy come on as well. He did all right. Richarlison did skin him initially, but then he soon sort of recovered from that, and he was always going to. He was always going to. He's got so much pace, Richarlison, isn't he? But no, I thought that was a really, really good performance. I'm really proud of the boys. Really happy with it. We'll get into it in more detail later on, and we'll do the player ratings later. That's what we'll do when we're talking about who's going to be coming and going from the team. I've seen Conte's comments after the game now as well, and I don't know what he's talking about, saying he thinks that Spurs should have won. He's moaning about VAR, obviously for the Cresswell handball. It weren't a handball. Well, it was, but it was ball to hand. Kane headed the ball onto his hand, didn't he? So it got rightly ruled out, but he's incredibly whingy today. I mean, Tottenham look average. They do. They've been getting results, but they were nothing other than what I expected today. And that's probably why the fans are quiet as well. Because if they're honest, they're not enjoying watching that shit. It's boring. It's boring. I hate watching that style of football. When we do that kind of sit back and we've got no creativity in the team. Well, that's not us now. I think we're changing the way that we play. I don't think Spurs are going to get stronger as the season goes on. I don't. I think we are. I think we're going to get stronger. We're going to get better. We're going to be a team to watch. Now, that's about it. I'm not going to talk about much else now because obviously we know it's deadline day today, and there's rumoured to be a couple of players going out and a couple of players coming in. So I'm going to save that for later. We're going to do a show later, and like I say, we will do the player ratings later as well. And as always, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, and that's it. I've got to go and do some work. So thank you very much, and come on, you lads.